Hey, here we are, the inaugural, the very first Two Richards, One Beer, plus Jim. I'm sorry, Jim, that you did not get credit. And I'm also sorry that you're currently muted, Jim. I didn't unmute you.
He has to be muted because of his company. We'll get to Jim.
Now his picture just says Jim Vertle. Oh, there he is. Hey, Jim. Jim, how's your day? I'm asking you a question, so unmute.
My day was fine. I went to Cambridge, Back Bay. I dropped off a case of beer so you could actually have beer so that you could drink today. So you're welcome. You're welcome to you too, Richard Healy. So my day's going great. How about you, Richard Tarantino?
It's like the other days, really. it's you wake up. I wake up at like 4 a.m. I don't want to, but I do anyway. And then I just kind of stumble around the apartment for 6 to 12 hours. I put a headband on at some point. I don't usually wake up with it on. And then I play synthesizer music. Try not to smoke weed before 1 p.m. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's pretty much status quo. Balding a little bit in the front. That's why part of the reason for the headband. Got this thing going here, so that's nice. But enough about me. Healy, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to drinking. But I'm not sure if that means I'm doing all right. No, I'm doing all right. It's a weird day. It's like a shitty day. This quarantine thing has bummed me out today, but I'm doing better, I guess. And that's really about it. What are you dangling? You're dangling something. What is that?
Pencil.
Yep.
It's a fucking pencil. Isn't it obvious what this is? Look at that. It's got an eraser. I bought this at Brookline Booksmith. I decided
again, you look like
I was going to get into it right.
You look like
You cut out. I couldn't hear what you said, but I think you maybe said the Royal Tenenbaums thing again.
I said you look like Richard Tenenbaum. Yes, and it still holds. You haven't done anything to improve upon that. It's just a rough look in general.
Let's just go ahead.
What are you drinking?
Let's go ahead and assume between our last Zoom call and this Zoom call, I haven't done a lot of personal care for this thing.
Have you showered?
Oh yeah. No, I shower. I just haven't I haven't trimmed this. This is new. You see how it goes all the way down there? It just connects now. There's no break. That's new. Sorry.
Rough. It's like your Robin Williams level of hairiness. It's just connecting to every other part of your body. Yeah. All right.
I got to get on Robin Williams level of cocaine.
That's a lot of cocaine. I mean, even Belushi couldn't hang with the Williams level of cocaine. It was pretty rough in general. All right, what are you drinking for your one beer? Because you can't have 3 because you'll be too far gone. You pansy.
I did get 2. I will probably admittedly not finish either one of them. And I did think about this. And I guess we can kind of do it, but I'm not going to get up and actually follow through on this right now. We should prospectively have, if possible, the beers of the guests' company if they work for a brewery during this. But
fuck them, no way. All right, they're lucky we're even on the show that they're not even really.
I took off a branded shirt I was wearing so I could wear this thing instead. So that's how I feel about sponsoring.
I'm wearing my edgy French garage rock shirt. Go ahead, Healy. Lay into it. What do you got to say about that?
What is that?
Les Louise.
Hold on, say something and show it again because the camera's on me for your shirt presentation.
Oh no, I was just yelling Les Louise. It's a French garage rock band, man. Isn't this show about French garage rock bands?
It's the hippest thing that you've said so far. We'll see how long it lasts. What are you drinking though? You're having
it's a Melvin IPA. Melvin IPA from Wyoming. Which brings me to my first topic of the conversation. How they you guys still sell them, right? Guys that sell beer?
That's my brand, yes.
How are they doing post getting in that real shit? How are they doing post sexual harassment allegations?
Honestly, and
cheers.
Very few people actually care about it. The bigger deal was that they switched to 16-ounce cans for our silly market, and sales have been much better since then. Very few people actually out here. There's still some people who care, and I don't begrudge them, but at the same time, most people just cared about the format. That's all. And the way that the distributor handled the brand, honestly, the first time, which I will not get into because I still work for said company. So.
But, I mean, there's a nice thing to talk about. What the fuck is the big deal about 4 extra ounces in a can of beer? Like, why and how is it so outrageous in the craft beer community right now that, like, if you put a beer in a 12-ounce can, you'll sell 5,000 cases a year. You put it in a 16-ounce can, and the next year you sell 15,000 cases, just because people really give that many shits about 4 extra ounces in a can. I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's a better surface for art, aesthetically speaking.
No. Penis,
intention.
dude. Penis. Everyone wants the bigger can. Right? This is what it is. It's a size thing. We're Americans. For some reason, we're obsessed with the bigger, better deal.
If that were true, then the 19.2s would sell better than anything
I'm not
else.
about it, but I
See, no, that's too much beer. That those 3.2 ounces.
I think you're still all right, but it's a thing.
Go ahead, Healy, go.
If you get a 6-pack of 19.2, you'd sell a lot. But whatever. I'm drinking a 12-ounce today. I'm having Brendan Groom's favorite, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Classic.
Right. Classic. Right, that's going to be my one beer, other than the other beers that I'm going to drink. But this will be the one beer. Yeah. So we're getting there. Jim, are you? You've been drinking. So what are you drinking right now?
I found the last one of Stone-Faced Porter, their winter beer. It's the same recipe they've had since they started 6 years ago. Medium body, delicious, roasty. I love dark beer. I love most beers, but I love dark beers too. I love underappreciated beers. I'm a contrarian by nature. So, I like this beer a lot. I know Tino likes this beer a lot too.
I do. I'm a big supporter. Those guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's good beer. But same deal there. With fucking same process as Melvin. They were with us in the state. 12-ounce 6-packs. Sorry to keep harping on this, but it just makes me so.
4-packs.
Well, no, yes, 12-ounce 4-packs, and then go to 16-ounce 4-packs, which is obviously a better idea. But like their sales fucking skyrocketed. It was absolutely insane. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Just correcting you on that because you were the one that brought them into the state the first time. You're the reason they signed with our current distributor. And
also thank you for fulfilling basically your role on the show is correcting me when I say things incorrectly.
Oh yes, that's the reason I'm here. I'm not one of the two Richards, so I'm here just to correct these two idiots because I'm the only one with at least a bachelor's degree. So
I don't plan on misspeaking.
Oh no, you're gonna be.
But I will misspeak a lot.
I know. I'm trying to keep it light.
Plans on misspeaking.
No, I'm going to misspeak all the time too. However, going back to your question about format, I honestly think it just has to do a lot with people wanting or breweries wanting to copy Heady Topper and people wanting to drink Heady Topper, and that's the format that matters. If you go to the Midwest, Half Acre is putting their beer into 12-ounce cans in Wisconsin because 16-ounce cans do not sell up there. So it's a regional thing. Obviously, the United States is a fruit cake or a stew or whatever sociological food term you want, that not everything is going to be the same. But
a bouillabaisse, perhaps? Bouillabaisse?
Possibly. Yeah. Whatever soup that contains a large discrete pieces. So I don't know why it is the way in the Northeast, but it's the way it is up here, and that's all there really is to it.
Did you just prefer? Sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
No, I think we're going to ask Jim the same question. Jim, do you prefer large, discrete pieces in your soup?
Depending what they are.
Jim.
Richard. Yes.
I think large, discrete pieces. I love that anytime you can use the word discrete, right? But a large, discrete piece
Well,
Jim,
I reserve the use of the word discreet purely for soup. That's the only time I use it is when I'm discussing soup.
By the way, folks, the other reason I'm here is so these two assholes can make fun of me. So I've fulfilled both my roles within the first 10 minutes. So
Can we stop saying folks and just say folk? And this folk person, sad girlfriend and or wife that is watching this, listening, sorry.
It's most likely going to be your girlfriend.
Yeah,
it is definitely going to be that most likely. But I don't know. I you know what? I don't really give a shit about the format of beers. I care more about the quality of beers. I think it's a little goofy that people care so much about 4 ounces in a 4-pack as opposed to a 6-pack 12-ounce when it's the same goddamn thing. I just don't care. But whatever. People are weird, man. I don't trust the majority of beer drinkers. I think the majority of beer drinkers suck in general. I think they all have shitty taste. This is why I'm the ass. There's, people would rather get a 4-pack of a $20 hazy IPA than a 6-pack of like a good filtered lager or ale for nearly half that. And somehow they're just the best at that. But hey, it looks like Johnson's here. Should I let him in? I should let him in, right?
We cut off to Johnson.
All right, hold on. I'm going to let Johnson in. Jeff Johnson, you have joined the meeting. It looks like you're connecting for audio and visual. Let's let him get going. Jeff Johnson did not connect. Wait a minute. He's figuring out. Jeff's a little older, folks. He may be a boomer. Or he's definitely Gen X. But we're going to see if he's technologically a boomer.
I think I might be older than Jeff. Or at least
Tarantino is as old or older than Jeff.
And I got on this fucking thing.
Really?
Not without some tribulations and trials, but I got on.
But wait a minute. Hold on. Tarantino, Jim and I were talking about this the other day. You're 37, 38?
I appreciate
you guys there?
I appreciate the kind words, but I'm 40, dog. I'm fucking 40. Balding, smoking weed, getting into fucking dance music. It's a weird time for me, but Oh, look at this guy.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Oh, there's Mr. Johnson.
Are you sitting by a fireplace?
I am sitting by my only light source right now.
Your power's out?
You're fucking shimmering.
I knew this was gonna happen. Like I knew I could have called this at 6 o'clock this morning. So
I think you texted me. You said you were worried about it. You asked us if we were going to reschedule, but we're doing. We're doing, Jeff.
If somebody farts,
hold on. We should tell the 2 people who may watch this what you do.
All I was gonna say, if somebody farts wrong down here, our power goes out.
I think because it's on his cell phone, we're gonna have funny connectivity.
Let's do this. Do these questions. This is a goddamn show.
Jeff, are we live right now? This is live technically. Yeah.
No, it's not live.
Well, we're recording. This is the recording of the thing that will eventually be played on the internet for some fucking reason.
This kind of just goes with how times are right now, I think. Right, guys? So my name is Jeff Johnson, sales manager for Jack's Abbey in state of Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Is that it? You're not much more dynamic than that? That's all you're gonna say about yourself?
I heard Rich's question and just answering that. So
what do you tell us about your scholastic, your sports interests? What are you into, dude?
From Pennsylvania, as you all know, proud Eagles fan, amongst other, I know, shake your head. Diehard Red Sox and Bruins fan. But from Pennsylvania, went to school in DC, and been up here for over a decade now.
Wait a minute, hold on. That brings me to one of my questions. You said you're a diehard Red Sox and diehard Bruins fan. So does that mean you just prefer to throw batteries at Santa Claus? Like why only those 2 teams, and then for some reason you just enjoy the Eagles?
My grandfather raised me on the Red Sox and the Bruins, so that's always been in my blood. But then everything else is northeastern PA based. So Eagles, Phillies, most important. Yeah.
It does. The candlelight actually is a good statement of the current state of affairs. I think we're all living in a bit more of a pioneer style life.
I mean,
we have to find our own fun these days.
Yeah, when the power and the internet went out, it kind of it seemed like this was very fitting. We're making memories here. Like, we're never going to forget these days. And I think it's how we come out of it, and what happens with everything that we love, and families and friends, and every part of everyone's lives is being affected by this. It's a very interesting time, in that the word interesting is obviously, you could put 1,000 different words in there, I think, for pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are you drinking right now, by the way?
Oh yeah, so yeah, plug. New can of Hot Ponius Union. There you go.
There you go.
So sticking true to the original flagship of Jack's Abbey.
Jeff, you have a good-looking can right there.
Thanks, man.
Will, Jeff.
Dude, I really do look like I'm sitting at a fireplace right now.
You do.
Yeah.
You look
It's like
cozy.
I feel like you're going to read me The Night Before Christmas or something.
Yeah, right. But
So,
yeah,
you got the thoughtful part of your thing out of the way, and then you got your plug out of the way. Why do you like fish so much?
why do I like fish so much?
Yeah.
I relate fish a lot to craft beer. For me, there's a lot of similarities there. I knew about it way before it was cool, and now there's I think jam music and craft beer have a lot in common. It's a very inclusive community. I feel like it's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of we're living in a digital age, but we're kind of analog folks, I think. I think you could find a lot of similarities between both of those things. But fish, I grew up, I always was looking for something different as far as music was concerned. And when I was in high school and middle school, that was about as different as you could get. So that's kind of where it started. The linkage between the Dead and fish, I think, is interesting. People that listened to the Dead growing up, like my family, had a lot of influence on that. So I feel like Deadheads either love fish or they hate fish. There's really no in between there. But again, I think for most people that might say they hate the Dead, they would go see them and it was a different experience. You say you hate fish, but you went to a rager. I think you would have a pretty good time for yourself. So maybe not the three of you.
No, I would go and I'd have a great time. But Jeff, that's just because I'd be on drugs. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the music. I mean, I think I'd just dose myself and then try not to stumble into any bodies of water or open flames. Maybe trying to avoid music in that condition.
But isn't that always a rule? Do you have to be taking drugs and going to fish to not want to stumble into an open flame?
Jeff, what were you saying about the analog in a digital world? You stole Sam Calagioni's bit right there, you know. You stole Sam Calagioni's bit.
Sam Calagioni did not write that bit.
You owe Sam Calagioni 120 minutes of apologies, and maybe 90. Let's see, probably 100.
Maybe he's lucky to get 60.
Because those
Jeff Johnson, like, yeah, analog man, digital world, man. First people.
What I was saying,
food and beer.
What I was saying about that was, I feel like we're people that the music today, if it's more than 3 or 4 minutes long, it's been played. Whereas you go to a fish show and you don't know what you're going to get, and it's every experience is unique. And Rich, probably half of the fish shows I've been to, I've not been on any drugs, so to speak. So I'm sure there were some beers consumed, but not necessarily drugs or mind-altering substances.
Aspirin,
So,
right? For aspirin for the knees and headache.
it's about a community, and it's just a different experience that most people don't understand, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
You're being very positive, Jeff, and you refuse to fall into my negativity trap. But I will send it over to Rich for his question du jour.
I don't know. I think I'm a little taken aback too by his positivity. I'm a little concerned about it. Jeff, Jack's Abbott, you were with Ballast Point before Jack's. Then we all worked at Atlantic together, and now obviously you're running the show for the brewery. Other than Hot Ponies Union, are there any beers right now that you want to talk about, or is there anything going on specifically with the brewery in these times that you feel the people that are related to us and watching this out of sympathy should know?
I would just say, as a whole, for us and most breweries around Massachusetts, we need to come out of this supporting each other. I think that's breweries, that's restaurants, that's everybody. I will not sit here and Jack's Abbey is about as fine as it gets, in my opinion. The family that runs it is amazing, and I love the people that I work with. But I feel like we all need to be supporting local. And as far as we're concerned, I feel like a lot of people we've seen this pattern now going back to people drinking what's been in their lives for a long time, and changing from drinking something different every day to now buying 12 and 15 pack, which has not been the pattern of buying over the last year. So going back to things that you know and love, whether it's House Lager or Hot Ponies Union for us. Rich, I sent you a picture the other day. I was drinking a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. So obviously not local to us, but there are breweries that have been around for decades, and in the Grossman's case, it's 40 years of history. So I think we need to be smart about how we spread the wealth around and how we support each other. And I think anytime we can help somebody that's Massachusetts based, where there are jobs and people's lives on the line, that's what we should be doing.
I do want to say, I saw online that you guys were donating lots of food to local schools and things like that, and that's fucking legit. That's really dope. So thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yep. Thank you. I wish I could say I had more to do with that, but we basically have had our teams divided now for a while. Most of us are home based and on the road very little. And that's all the Hendlers, and unfortunately what is a very small crew now at the beer hall. But hopefully that changes over the next month. And I think everyone's positive that Massachusetts is going to be out of this quicker than somewhere like New York, of course. But that we all can support local in every community. And I think each of us lives in kind of a different area. And Rich, I'm sure all the people in Lowell, are going to come out in droves to support you. And I think we all are just waiting to see what's on the other side. We just don't know when it's going to be.
It's true.
Well, thank you. I hope they do too. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to change. It's going to change everything in so many ways. But I think people are going to be happy to get back to some semblance of normalcy. But we'll see. I think there'll be some things that get changed for the better, and some things obviously that we just try to recover from. Jim, did you have any questions for Jeff? I know you're muted right now because we just can't have you speak out of turn, Jim. You're uncontrollable. But it is your turn to ask Jeff a question.
I have two very cynical questions. I will throw one of them in there in my question. But Jeff, has anyone ever called you the White Randall Park?
I can't say that they have.
Okay, because you are the White Randall Park, and that's a good thing. Have your booze consumption increased or decreased since this lockdown started?
Oh, definitely increased.
Okay.
Yeah. We really do try to go like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We try to live some sort of life, my wife and I, and but there's definitely a lot of early afternoon, late afternoon beers now, which didn't happen before at home. And I made a Bloody Mary at 4:00 today. I just was like, screw it. So
God bless.
yeah, it's really funny listening to my friends without kids that are like, oh, this is the greatest time of my life. And any of us with kids, I think, would say the exact opposite. It shows how much our daycare people and educators actually do, and how little we're responsible for our children Monday through Friday for the most part. It's pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, I'm doing my wife and I are doing the homeschooling for the boy here, which basically means I sit there with him and learn Spanish on Rosetta Stone at half the pace he does, because his mind's like a sponge. Mine's probably like a shitty cast iron pan at this point.
More of a piece of Jello, I think, more of that kind of shape.
His or mine?
Yours.
Mine? Yeah, maybe even.
Yes, yours.
Yeah, oh, definitely the consensus. But then, and then I relearned math with him, which is just embarrassing. But luckily, there's certain things, because like he's being taught addition in a different manner than we are, right? I mean, I kind of learn, just like numbers stacked on top of each other, carrying a one. He's learning it in a way that should be easier.
Wait. Did they change math? Is math?
Yes. The math has the way that we were taught math, Tino. Well, I don't know. I mean, you're like, 20 years older than Jim and I, so it could be a little bit different. But the way that our math program was designed, it was designed for the space race. Am I right, Jim? It was designed basically to turn kids into rocket scientists so we could outpace the Soviets. Jim,
yes, pretty much.
Jim.
Yes, pretty much. I'm here. Yes, pretty much.
Jesus. All right. Jesus, Jim. So now, they finally have figured out that our children don't need to be rocket scientists because it's not the fucking Cold War. So they're teaching them better math than they taught us. Because apparently in the 90s, that was still an issue when I was in grade school. We had to worry about, Putin's predecessor, whoever that was in the 90s. Was it Gorbachev? I don't know. I think Gorbachev.
Boris
Gorbachev.
Yeltsin.
Yeah.
As engaging as this part of this conversation, Jeff is over his time. So I wanted to give Jeff the opportunity to go ahead and say whatever's on his mind. Has he got something to say? Has he got some shit to share? Jeff, have at it.
No, I think we kind of said what I was expecting to, and thanks for having me, guys. I've known all of you for a long time, and just stay safe and stay well, and I can assure you that we'll all be working together on the other side to get through this. We're all kind of family as far as working together, and depending on what side of the business you're on, we're all in this together. That's my hippie. I will tell you that my staff and my team, and they always try to bring me down as well. Like someone said something about positivity. Like people are always like, "Why are you so goddamn positive?" And that's just, I don't know. Even with all this shit, even though I knew the power was going to go out tonight, it was going to be a pain in the ass, and everything's been a pain in the ass lately. It's part of the fun. So just remember, we still have a lot, even though we're working with less than we normally have. So
thank you, Jeff. I appreciate
that.
I want you to know that our next guest is English, so we'll go ahead and most likely fill a negativity quotient for the evening. But thank you.
And Tim Coleman is one of the best. Tell Tim I said hi, please.
I definitely will. Jeff,
bye,
thank you for making the effort.
Thanks,
buddy.
Thanks, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Man, what a positive guy.
Makes you want to turn your life around.
Way too much positivity. Way too much positivity.
Makes me want to think about putting pants on and like doing something.
Well, you're not one of those people who are. Wait a minute, you're not wearing pants right now? I hate that I have to ask.
It's let your mind fucking take you where it wants to go, man. Like, don't worry about it. Just envision what you think I'm wearing.
I'm not going to drop acid and imagine you pantsless. Thank you.
Yeah, Jim, who brought up the acid? What are you doing, right? Wait a minute, what?
Have you ever? I mean, I don't know if we want to
No,
get.
I have not. I have not.
Not dropped acid before.
No.
You never have, Jim?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope, I have not.
Yeah, it's a strange drug. I haven't done it in quite a long time, thankfully, but it was an odd time.
I haven't done it today. You know, it's yeah.
It's only 6:30. It's only 6:30.
No,
You can still take it and get to bed by like 4 a.m.
I've seen you do shrooms, so.
Who?
And I did not
Richard?
partake. No, you.
Me?
You.
You seen me do shrooms?
Well, T.
Oh, Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna say I don't think you've seen me do. Shrooms. I have not done. I've done. That's one of the. I don't know how this became something. Basically, an admission tape for when you know, at any point I'm being interviewed for a possible promotion or another job, and they'd be like, "You were stupid enough to put this online that you've done this type of illegal, this many types of illegal narcotics, Mr. Healy." But whatever.
Let's just assume at this point none of us are getting jobs with the federal government, so we're probably fine.
If they make me cut my hair, I'm not taking a job at the place. So.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jim.
Yeah.
Fight the power.
Wait a minute. Why are we unqualified to get jobs at the federal government? I mean, do you know who is kind of? I mean, just look at the people that are really kind of in charge of things.
Hey, man, we said no politics, bro. All right, we said fucking no. We didn't actually say that. Fuck that, dude. Yeah, you're right. I could be the president.
You can definitely be the president. I mean, you're killing it right now. You got your base behind you. You got the Richie Tenen.
All these guys are. Look at this shit.
Jesus Christ. That's the good content right there.
Hold on, we got to see synthesizers.
That's what I call the bleep corner, the bleep loop corner. That's where I spend most of
that's the digital. That's the digital in the digital world.
Yeah.
I'm getting my third beer.
Jim.
Yes.
Could you please ask your wife to not laugh so much?
Yes, I don't know why she's enjoying herself. This is not enjoyable.
Back up there, Tino. I'm putting myself on mute and getting my third beer.
See you later, Jim. Bye, Jim. What was his first beer? Oh no, he had Stoneface.
He had Stoneface. I have my second beer here. But first, our friend Tim Coleman is having a difficult time logging in, so I'm going to send him another email, and we're going to make sure that he can get in here. It's an important thing.
It's amateur hour, and I'm fucking tired of it. Like I can't perform like this. Perform with all this shit going on. Hey, Jim. Tim's having some issues logging in.
That's fine. We needed this time for you to make fun of me anyway. It's all good.
What beer are you drinking?
In the middle of the interview with Jeff Johnson, I switched to Springdale Pearly Wit.
Wait a minute. You drank that already?
No, it's right there.
Oh, Jim, I have a follow-up question from an earlier conversation we were having this week. But first, hold on. For my one beer. True North Cerveza Mexican lager. A friend of mine from grade school actually works for this, and he swung by a case, and I'm kind of pumped. So thank you. You actually do watch this. But Jim, how many push-ups have you done today?
I did 221 push-ups today.
Wait a minute, what? You did 221? How many, like in a row? How many did you do?
No.
In a row?
No, I did. Well, you asked me total. I did 5 different sets I did a set of 45, a set of 55, a set of 35, a set of 30, and then it was at least 55 for the final set, and I did 56.
I have a question for you, Jen. Are you using like push-up bars or anything? Like I notice when I do a lot of fucking push-ups, my wrist starts hurting like after like a month or so. Like I was doing like 100 a day when I was working at that shitty grocery store, because I would hide like in a corner of the warehouse and just do push-ups instead of work.
The one owned by a Princeton graduate now, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Don't speak of his name, because when this is all said and done, We're gonna have to lead the resistance. This will become a resistance circle.
Jim, no bullshit. Jim, why can't we say the name of the grocery store when he led this off going after Melvin? Jim, you should just drop the name of the grocery store.
It's Whole Foods.
Dude, Tino, how you gonna deal with Bezos now, bitch? The hood is up.
Dude, your head looks so tiny when you do that. Your head looks like.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
That's why I didn't want to do this fucking thing, because I didn't want to get picked on, because no one really picks on me anymore because I don't talk to anybody. I get picked for fucking Whole Foods, man. Like, that's why I didn't want to do this shit. And it was a shitty experience. That was the worst job I've ever had. Like, it was. I felt like I was being gaslighted by my own employer. Like, I had I said this to Mike, the owner of the restaurant I work at, the other day. Like, yo, man, not the other day, fucking 3 months ago. I was like, the best way to describe that entire experience is shitty young people yelling at sad old people. That's what it's like working at fucking Whole Foods. And I'm like, I can't become a sad old person, man. I got like a couple years left where I could still stay positive. And I can't spend those being yelled at by like 25-year-old shitbirds under the guise of some fucking international fucking corporate behemoth. Sorry, that's a dumb, tangent. Going back on topic here.
No. Keep it up. It's a good tangent. Keep it up. People want to hear that right now.
I know nobody wants to hear that shit.
It's a buffer.
A stone-faced porter.
I gave you one of the ones that was in my car. So there you go.
I know. I saw that in the case, and I was excited by this the most, which is the beer in the case that I've had the most. The Melvin IPA is good. Like, I haven't really been drinking a lot, but it's
good for you.
Beer now and again. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've replaced it with other vices, but
we know.
You do masturbate a lot. I'm
a kept man. That's all I need to say about that. And then we'll move on to something else. Kept man.
I'm gonna grab some whiskey too, because this is a beer show. And,
is Tim still in limbo somewhere? Or
he's working it out. Tim's working out. He's British, and I don't know what that has to do with this, but people are gonna love the accent. I've sent him. Oh, wait a minute. He's entered the waiting room. Let's see the waiting room.
He's stuck in the car park. That's all I want to know.
No, he's entered the waiting room, and this says see the waiting room, but we don't really see the waiting room. It gives me think. Should I admit Tim? Oh, Tim. Oh, wise Tim.
At this point, I say no. Like, he missed his window of time. Like, he's done. I'm done with this dude.
He's only 3 minutes late, which isn't bad. All right, hold on. I'm gonna drop Tim in. Here he comes.
I have a high standards I keep.
Yeah, no, it seems like it. But let's bring in Tim, and let's see how long it takes him to figure out how to unmute his mic and turn his camera on. I'm gonna go with 4 seconds. Here we go.
He's on his way. Oh,
Tim!
Oh, there he is.
It's like he knows how to do this. It's like his 10th Zoom meeting of the day.
When I'm given the right password, it's amazing what can happen.
It wasn't easy. I don't know why.
I too have dealt with the logistical issues having to do with Rich Healy starting these meetings. So I understand, Tim, and I side with you on this. Like, we may need to rethink who's like putting up these fucking meetings. But anyway,
well, it just requires a distinction between uppercase and lowercase letters. It's pretty simple, really. You think?
Tim, I sent you a picture of it.
Hey, are you in the Hunger Games? What's going on behind you?
Where, me?
Oh, Healy.
Oh.
I am a Liverpool fan, and I wanted to let Tim know right now. I put up my Liverpool background.
So I don't know if we've talked about this, but Jim and I have talked about our English Premiership League teams, and you see the grey here. That's from supporting West Ham the last 40 years of my life. It's not easy. It's not easy. See the furrowed brow, the receding hairline, the gray, the general stressed demeanor. You know, in fact, the only good news is that they haven't lost in like a month.
Yeah, I hear that. I don't know anything about soccer, but I got the joke.
All right. The joke is they haven't played in a month, Rich.
Yeah, no, I know it sucks right now. You don't get to watch anything. I'm not a big fan of the fact that they're. I honestly don't give a shit about most American sports. At the end of the day, sports are just sports to me. I know here in Boston, people go insane about all of it. They're gonna name their beers for it and care about, where fucking Mookie Betts ends up playing. I don't give a shit. But in the same sense of being an idiot and caring about something I shouldn't, I care about a team that plays in Liverpool. So I guess I should shut up.
Yeah,
Is it the John Henry connection?
No, I can't stand him. The connection is our lovable Jim Vertle here woke me up. Yes, Jim woke me up at like 5 a.m. on a Saturday to go drinking in Cambridge. It was a Sunday. I'm sorry, a Sunday.
You want me to tell the story?
No, I can. Jesus, you know what? Fine, fuck it, whatever, Jim.
We don't tell the story. We don't have fucking 20 minutes. Rich, tell the story.
All right. All right. So I was the spirits guy. I was selling Irish whiskey at the time, and I wanted to get into the Phoenix Landing. And Jim was like, if you crash at the poker game that we're going to, I'll drive us to the pub in the morning. It's going to be a soccer match. And if they win, the owner may talk to you. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound promising. That sounds like it fucking blows. But whatever, let's do it. So we're waiting outside. It was freezing, Jim. What month was it?
March.
It was March. It was cold, and we're outside, and the match was at like 6 a.m. because Liverpool sucked.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
No, I'm sticking with 6 a.m. Even though Jim's smarter than me and probably remembers it picturesque. And the team was so bad, like Christian Benteke was on the team at that point. I had no idea what was going on, but then I realized everybody was drinking and singing, and there were no commercials, so I was in. And after that, I was like, this is just perfect. And they won, and the guy bought the Irish whiskey. I was like, fuck this. This is the most any sport's ever given me here. So I was all about it after that.
Do you want to hear my Phoenix Landing story?
Yes, I do.
I need 30 seconds, Rich.
You have it.
So last summer, actually 2 summers ago, was the World Cup and the Phoenix Landing, as we know, big soccer bar. Wearing my Vian Stefana shirt, I went to do like a promo to one of the Germany games at the Phoenix Landing. Because of the time difference, the game was, I think, on a Wednesday. It started like 9 a.m. Boston time. So I live in the suburbs. Try getting to Cambridge for 8:30 in the morning on a weekday. It's not easy. So it's the only time in my long and illustrious beer career that I've had to set my alarm so I can go to a promo.
That makes sense. This is the fucking Phoenix.
And the game was over at like 10:45, so I kind of called it a day.
It's a hard day.
Tim,
it's a hard day's work right there.
Right.
Tim, we're other than the fact that we're new at this, we suck at it. But what are you drinking right now?
So I'm drinking. I poured myself one of these guys. It was a little fuller when I first started waiting to be connected, but So this is a Vian Stefana Helles original lager. It's an Elita Stein, which is what they drink it out of at Oktoberfest. So it takes me back to the happy days of beer swilling and dancing on tables in Munich in the fall.
I've never been like that. I don't really care for like, I've never really wanted to do like beer tourism. Going to Belgium, I mean, I'd go to Belgium because it looks beautiful. The whole thing, like I've made the trips up to Vermont, blah, blah, blah. But going to Germany and drinking German lager is like the thing I want to do as far as European beer travel. Like I would fucking love to go to Vian Stefana or go to some of these smaller breweries like Schlenkerla and just drink the beer that they make there and just fucking sit around and talk to people, man. Like that sounds like the greatest goddamn day.
Yep. So if you've never been to Oktoberfest, definitely put it on your things to do in life list. I've been once. It was the best day. I don't remember, but I was told I had a great time.
That's pretty good.
I slept in a car that night, which kind of says it all. And it's now checked off my things to do in life list, and I don't need to do it again.
Did you know that both Bon Scott, the original singer of AC/DC, and Hank Williams both died in cars after being drunk as
In
piss?
Munich?
Not in Munich, but in their own separate places.
Yeah, that is
Not in
Tarantino.
the same. They didn't die in the same car in Munich.
I did not know that.
Fun fact. Fun fact.
All right.
Full of fun facts. Actually, no, I got like 2. Jim's full of fun facts.
No, but if you've never been to Munich, whether it's Oktoberfest or not, it's a great city. Great climate, a lot of outdoors stuff going on, beer gardens all over the place. Can't beat it.
Tim, my first question I have for you:
Yeah.
Are you into electronic music?
No.
All right, because I'm getting into electronic music. I don't know if you probably weren't here for this earlier. I'm pretty proud of it, and I feel like they're all English. And I was just wondering if maybe you had some insight as to why all these like 30-year-old English white dudes make electronic dance music.
No comment.
No. What kind of music you like? What do you listen to?
Oh, 80s, all the way.
What do you got? What's on your playlist? What's on your like quick top 5? And
Quick top 5. ABBA goes a long way. You know, driving music, sing along, tap along kind of music. The other, you gotta have Def Leppard on your top 5 bands, just because any band with a one-armed drummer deserves a lot of street cred.
That's an excellent point. That one-armed drummer is better than Tarantino if Tino had arms like Shiva, the goddess of death.
Whatever.
So things like Police, Sting. I was actually a roadie for Sting in a former life.
The fuck out of here.
I was.
Fuck out of here. All right, that's all we're going to talk about now. You're a roadie for Sting?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, tell us.
So I was like the local. I actually lived in Germany for a while between finishing studies and getting a real job. And one of the jobs I had was working for like the traveling bands that used to come through the city I worked in. So that's what we did. Did Rod Stewart?
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was less impressive, I would say.
I like the Faces shit. I like the early stuff. That stuff's good.
Yeah.
One question. I'm not done with Sting yet. Did he do anything like tantric to you, or like did anything weird happen like sexually when you were near Sting? I just feel like he just
not that maybe it did, but I was not aware of it. If it did,
okay, then it wasn't that.
Maybe just blissfully naive,
Healy,
I was a young man at the time, so maybe I was just blissfully naive. I don't know.
Healy, you want to ask Tim a question? You want to drive this thing along?
I have no idea how to follow up the.
I'm gonna be stuck on Sting for the next 45 minutes, so you just take it somewhere else, please.
It's a tough act to follow. Just how the hell do you get back to beer after that? Tim, you sell Saison de Pont,
I do.
Cole, Gaffo Kolsch, O'Hara's,
yep.
Vine Stefan. Is there anything I'm missing?
Yeah, a bunch actually.
Asphalt cider.
Like the uppercase letters in the password you gave me. That was missing.
Picture of it.
I'll drop it. No, so Vine Stefana, Gaffel Kolsch, O'Hara's. We do Old Speckled Hen, Saison Dupont, Recorderlig cider. And then some more niche things like a Vietnamese beer for the Vietnamese restaurants, and Cooper's from Australia for KO pies in East Boston.
So for people that don't know, you work for an importer, correct?
What's that?
For people that don't know how this whole thing works.
So my company imports the beer from overseas, and then we resell it to local distributors. My company has connections with about 400 different distributors around the country, of which I have responsibility for about 45 across the Northeast. And then those distributors, whether it be Atlantic or whoever else, sells it to the restaurants, bars, stores. And then when the restaurants were open, I would belly up to the bar and order a pint, and then that would be like the circle of life, you know? I would retake possession of what my company had imported.
So you're a middleman.
A middleman, yep. Well, just like local brewery reps represent a local craft brand or whatever, I just represent the brands that have been imported into the country from overseas.
Tim, I'm a gigantic fan of imported beer, as you know. I'd rather put good imported lagers on draft than support any American lagers in bottle or can. Are you starting to see the pendulum swing back from hazy IPAs and everything else to good imports? I know certain imports have always been performing well, but I think we're coming back around to good English style imports, and especially good German style imports and Belgian style imports.
Yeah, I'd say yes and no. So definitely the German stuff is popular. You only have to see how many craft brands are trying to make their version of a Hefeweizen or their version of a Kolsch or their version of another classic style. To see that that's a bandwagon that local people are trying to jump on. But the Belgian stuff is definitely a harder sell. The idea of buying a 750 cork and cage Belgian beer for $15 that's a thing of the past. I think that it's more cans and 4-packs on the Belgian side, but the pendulum is definitely swinging away from the crazy hoppiness, without question, and it's coming back towards Pilsner, Kolsch, Helles, lagers, all sorts of classic German, European styles, for sure.
Beers that don't take effort to drink is what you're implying. beers that aren't.
They don't take effort to drink, but they're not that. It doesn't make them easy to make.
Right, of course.
And then when you have the choice between having a local version of a Kolsch made by someone that's done it twice versus the authentic version made by someone who's been doing it for 8 generations, you can spend $11 on a 6-pack of the local version, or you can spend $12 on a 6-pack of the real thing.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
For me and a lot of other people, increasingly, that's an easy choice. You may as well go authentic.
True, good shelf life.
There's a bit of like I don't know. There's a bit of authenticity that's been lacking, I think, in craft beer. Look, a lot of these smaller pop-up breweries and shit, man. You know, it's just some motherfucking investment banker that's like, man, I'm tired of this corporate world, bro. I'm gonna get into craft beer.
Yeah.
And his buddy had a fucking homebrew kit, and like they had fucking they had $1 million in investors, and they're like, yeah, man, fucking beer now, bro. I'm like, yo, I know it's easier to make a beer that's like covered in shit, like the IPA. Like, you cover something in shit, you know what it tastes like? But like, something that takes a little finessing.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that venture capital money is going to dry up at the moment. So I think a lot of those local craft brands, I think a lot of them are in a spot of trouble just because they don't have access to their tap rooms, and that's the cash cow that keeps the doors open.
That's incredible.
I think there's going to be a huge fallout.
It's incredibly regrettable. I don't want to see anyone like lose their job or like any businesses go under. That's fucking awful, and it's going to happen, and it sucks. But like, there's too many breweries making the same thing now. Like, it's unnecessary. It's excessive. So.
Yeah. So I'm representing the brand that made it through the. They made it through the Black Plague in the 1300s. They made it through world wars. So the chances are we'll make it through this too.
Tim, question: do you watch Better Call Saul?
No.
So I've started getting into it, and I've just finished through season 4. Haven't gotten to the current season. You got free. Vine Stefan got free advertisement in one of the episodes.
Is that right?
Are
you going to actually assume that's free? That shit ain't free. There's money being. I as older I get, the more conspiratorial I get.
Fine.
There's money in hands.
There probably was money paid, but there was a plot line with some Germans that came over to help, and they were at a bar, and actually this is separate. at the bar, a bottle of Polliner was shown, but when one of the gang members was coming back home and he had a couple of ladies at home with some pipes hanging around, there was a bottle of Weihenstephan Hefeweizen sitting on their table while they were waiting for him to come.
Right. Now, where's the show filmed, or where's it set?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow. Money may well have changed hands for that, I would say.
Yeah. And this was supposed to take place in 2004, I believe, at this point in the time. So I'm sure the beer was made by then.
It was made. It was available by then, for sure, yeah.
Back when your brewery was relevant.
Yeah.
Oh, what a mess.
Yeah, 1104 we were making beer, too.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us for this. We're going to get into wrapping the show up, and I'm going to chug a disgusting beer with these clowns. But we appreciate you taking the time. We know you had a lot to do on right now.
Any parting wisdom, Tim?
Only that, however bad we think we might have it, at least we're not Guinness. Because think how many barrels of Guinness are in people's basements that have been sitting there since about March the 13th.
Oh, that's so true.
There are a lot.
That's a lot of Guinness. That's a lot of Guinness.
I heard a story of a bar in Midtown Manhattan that had on the Wednesday before St. Patrick's Day, that had delivered 175 kegs of Guinness.
Oh, my God.
And they are still there.
Oh, my God.
That's brutal.
So anyone's tempted to think they're having a bad day, at least you're not Guinness.
Hey, Guinness sold that beer. Those accounts bought it. Like Guinness hands is clean of that shit. Like that's on somebody else.
That's so painful.
Oh.
There are going to be some really affordable pints of Guinness when this is over.
Pretty cheap. Dollar specials for the rest of the year, I would think.
Imagine the happy hours in fucking East Village right now. Like 6 Guinnesses for one from 5 to fucking 9.
Buy one, get 6.
Oh.
That's so bad. Tim, thank you again, and stay safe and healthy, my friend.
All right.
Thank you, Tim.
Bye, guys.
Hey, buddy.
All right, fellas. We're going to close this sucker out. Hold on. I'm going to go get the disgusting beer that I'm going to drink for the end of this. But why don't you two, Tino, why don't you talk about the fact that you're a lightweight and don't have another beer? And then Jim can talk about the fact that he's actually a real drinker and has one.
Well, I mean, it's just 2 ways to look at that. Yes, I am a lightweight because I don't really drink all that much anymore. And I lost all this goddamn weight. But secondarily, like, I just don't have beer. Like, I haven't bought beer for a long time. And I'm not going to walk outside and go down the street to the store during all this bullshit and die because of beer. Like, whatever, man. I'll just drink water or tea or some shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right, Jim? I think.
I mean, I guess that's fine if you want to do that. No, that's fine. I mean, it's fine.
While Healy's gone, do you think he like set up his laptop right in front of his bookshelf so he looks smart? So like,
I'm not smart. I will freely admit I'm not smart. I moved my desk about the window.
While we have a little downtime, would you mind just telling us about your book selection on your shelf there behind you? Like, that looks totally cool.
Listen, allow me to fill you in, Tarantino. All right, I have read about a fifth of these. Okay, most of them are books I was forced to buy in school that I did not want to read, and then there's some ones that I got really ambitious and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to be smart," and I bought, and I still didn't read. So yes, that's what it is. But hold on, while we're here, I want to before I get to my disgusting beer, I want to show everybody. I thought about drinking this. This is one of the worst things probably ever brewed or packaged. And Tarantino, if you could see him, gave me this for my wedding, and handed it to me like, I mean, I guess I have to give you something. So here you go. Tarantino, make a noise so people can see you hiding right now. And then I'm going to read what this beer is.
Oh, I don't remember what that beer is. I blocked all that shit out of my memory. That was a very emotional time for me. That was an awful experience. That's the Stone Lost Abbey. Was it Sticks and Stones, right? An Imperial Dark Pilsner. What the fuck was it?
This is a dark Imperial
brewed on the floor somewhere. Granted.
It says finished, whatever the fuck that means. Finished on wood chips and granite, which and they decided to put it in a fucking Magnum and cork and cage it. And this was something that no one ever wants to drink. The wedding gift from the other dick on the show. I'm gonna put it back here now. All right, so my disgusting beer I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna try to drink a horrible beer every show because I just don't care about myself. This is a Goose Island IPA, which is bad enough, but if you'll notice from the packaging, this is a really old Goose Island IPA. My mother bought me a 6-pack of crafty beer, when I moved into my apartment, and this was bottled on November 30th of 2015. And it sat in the outdoor hallway being subjected to every season. I put it in my fridge last night. Jim thinks it's going to explode when being opened. I brought a spoon to open it. So this is going to be my one beer. Oh my God. Ooh, all right. It's golden in color, not like good beer, but more like urine, dehydrated urine. All right, Jim, what's your beer right now? Since Richard's drinking cranberry juice.
I have a Springdale IPA. They're brand new year-round beer.
Richard, what do you?
I really didn't know. You guys never told me that this was just gonna be a plug show for your goddamn products. Like I'm not here to hawk Atlantic.
I haven't had a single product
in wares, and that's all I got. I got a fucking Atlantic item in my hand. I used to work. I love that, but I'm not here to sell your shit. I want to talk about. I want to talk about Sting in his overt sexuality.
That was a great part. Having some Coleman come on with Sting, that was pretty perfect. I haven't drank a single Atlantic beer. Oh my God, this smells like someone. This smells like a beer fart. It does.
Jim, did you want to say anything more about your beer? Jim, why don't you talk for a while? I don't want to talk anymore.
Hey, come on, Jim.
I don't want to talk about my beer, but I do want to talk about the whole idea of local being good. It might be good for the economy, but a lot of local beer honestly sucks balls. Most of the shit out there in your state sucks. A friend of mine who I've not spoken to in a while, Melissa, who lives in the Mountain West Range, said that Colorado looked like Massachusetts beer market about 5 years ago, when all the local breweries were popping up and people just wanted the hot new thing. So we were all worried about 16-ounce cans being the hot new trend. That may not be the case in 5 years. A lot of these breweries may disappear in a while. Your hot new things maybe just be flash in the pans. So quality usually reigns supreme, and I hope that even in this strange time that we're in, that quality still reigns supreme. You can find good beer a lot of places. It can be local. It doesn't have to be local. That's all I ask for, is that you drink quality stuff.
All right, everybody. Jim hates local, so pile that away in your fucking memory bank, Jim.
Springdale IPA is delicious.
Henceforth, Jim is probably the only anti-local guy. You know, you just fuck farms, fuck your local bakery. You know, whatever, man.
Jim, that was I was going to say beautiful, and then I realized it was actually really negative, which is, I mean, Jim, hey, I'm all about it.
You know my brand. You know my brand. Why would you question?
I don't know. All right, I'm going to try this. It's oh yeah, no, it's really gross. I mean, I don't know how to describe it in terms of something that I think it'd be detrimental to my health if I finish this.
Well, we don't need you taking up a bed at the hospital. So why don't you just put that shit down?
Old beer doesn't kill you.
Oh, no, I can't. What the fuck? I mean, the shelf life on this it's not like a New England IPA. It had to have been good for what, 6 months?
You can probably acknowledge that it was never good. It's just gone from bad to worse.
I can say the bright citrus aromas and the bold hop finish have definitely faded over time. Ugh. All right, Richard, close the show out. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just let my stomach recoup. Half of that was enough.
The last thing I want to say, I want you to pick a book out from behind you that you haven't read and try and tell me what you think it's about.
All right, let's do this real quick. The View from Shanty Pond. This was given to me by my father-in-law. I probably should read it. It has one of those plastic jackets, so I don't think he actually bought this. I think he stole it from the library and then gifted it to me when he realized it was my birthday that day. But no, he probably didn't. He's actually a very nice guy. The View from Shanty Pond. An Irish immigrant's look at life in a New England mill town. I'm never going to read that. I'm sorry, but I have it here. So there, that is your.
I didn't ask you to tell me what it was about. I asked you to tell me what you thought it was about based off the name.
That's probably some fucking guy named Flanagan, like living with like 9 kids in a room in Lawrence making shoes. I guarantee that's literally probably what it is. Yeah, I'm probably related to him. That's probably what that.
Eating fucking potatoes. Yeah.
No, that's racist. No, probably. But whatever. All right. Are you going to use your synthesizers to play us out, or are you just going to say goodbye?
Probably just say goodbye. Jim, do you have any parting negativity you want to keep with us before we go?
I love you all.
Oh, that's pathetic. All righty. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching this, Mom.